let's take a trip
to hell.
This chapter of Chainsaw Man may have just proven the ultimate Chainsaw Man theory, but as well that the Falling Devil is insanely thick, and Denji isn't leaving without Asa's ass. Oh, and we're in hell now. Let's jump in to chapter 128. We begin the chapter with Asa, of course, cursing Denji's very existence for saying he lives for sex. This was just really funny and a great way to start the chapters. Asa literally 180s her whole feelings and tells Denji to go to hell in the matter of seconds. However, Denji argues back that that it's not gross in the most Denji way ever. And I quote, this is what he says: "Sex is like super beautiful." Denji here obviously being super smooth, being a Riz god, but also very logical and very well reasoned. He says that the power of sex and how good it feels is why humanity grew to the size it has, which gotta say, he be kinda spitting though. However, Asa, being the mega virgin incel she is, says people only have sex because they have nothing better to do. Of course, we just do it because we're bored. She hates the idea as well of somebody else's saliva and sweat mixing together with theirs. Asa basically just exposed herself as a gigantic baby and clearly has not had the sex, because if she did, she would not be saying that. I'm just saying. Even Denji is incredulous to Asa's comments. He embraces and thinks there is nothing better than sweat and saliva, much to the chagrin of Asa and just the complete opposite of her. Though Asa is like, wait a second, what makes you think you'd ever get any? Which is really ironic considering this is coming from Asa of all people. Like, lady, don't judge when you haven't gotten any either. So Denji is like, yeah, like when I get older though, I'll get one. But Asa still is also incredulous towards Denji, as Asa says no woman in existence would ever have sex with a guy who has a chainsaw coming from his head. And honestly, on first thought, the logic seems sound. And she's kind of right. Most well-reasoned people probably would never want to do it with Chainsaw Man. However, counterpoint, there is a land in which Denji could find many people who would have sex with him in the Chainsaw Man regalia and all. Of course, I'm talking about the wonderful land of Twitch.tv. So they all fall into a door in the sky where they find themselves on a platter. I guess this is hell. Asa is passed out, and so Denji carries her to like a door in this black void, and it's really cool, like a cool concept for hell. Just a black void with nothing around but doors. That does actually kind of seem like hell now that I think about it. But from the black, a monster emerges and beheads Denji. But Denji is actually really quick and catches his head by the handle and reattaches, and once again pulls the ripcord in his chest. And this just, I think, goes to show that how long Denji has been Chainsaw Man and how used to the line of work he probably is and how used to just being in these situations he is. Though maybe he's simply just fighting with instinct here and isn't as calm as he seems. But to me, at the very least, he does seem pretty calm. I mean, he even jokes about it in the next scene. Like, well, for example, before we get to that, actually, then your waifu and favorite VTuber appears. Of course, we're talking about the Fallen Devil. It says her main dish only calls for Asa, not Chainsaw Man. So she simply offers to send him back if he leaves Asa, which we both know is a no-go here. Denji is too much of a sweetheart to leave Asa, which is what I would like to say, as Denji actually says, and I quote, "Can I at least bring her ass back with me?" Now, dear viewer, I wouldn't lie to you, right? I mean, by now you've already hit the subscribe button and liked the video, so technically I'm legally obligated to tell you my truest thoughts. So, my thoughts are that maybe Asa was right, and maybe Asa is a prophet of the times. Either way, I think I'm Team Asa now, in a strange twist. But anyways, seems the Falling Devil is Team Asa too, as she simply calls Denji a pervert, which is actually really funny because you think a monster like her would have no concept of something like that, but she does. And she's not happy. But that's good for the simps out there, though. That means the Falling Devil is like some dummy mommy now to some of the simps. And to be fair, this panel shows that she's also sort of dummy thick, so yeah. Speaking of, the other thing to happen in this panel is the Falling Devil is skewered by another chainsaw. And while a huge twist for the Falling Devil once again is so neutral in all of this, just saying, oh dear, this keeps happening to me today. I want to watch the English dub of this when this gets animated in the anime, because I just want to see what the tone of the voice actress brings to this. But anyways, the mysterious figure then says that the Falling Devil has no tolerance for people who leave food unfinished. So if Asa is to be left there, there are no doubts that she would probably be eaten. Otherwise, the Falling Devil will kill those who don't eat her. And this shows that, really, the Falling Devil isn't just some neutral person who's sort of aloof and goofy. In reality, the Falling Devil is still, a devil at heart and very evil. So the figure then tells Chainsaw Man to avoid the Falling Devil and everyone else until sunrise. And honestly, there are so many questions coming from this, including some big theories we gotta talk about. In Hell, it seems there is a sunrise and sunset, which means they're currently in sunset, obviously. So the real question, what does this place look like with light? My mind immediately goes to, and spoilers for Berserk, so skip to this time code to avoid the spoilers in 3, 2, 1. All right, spoilers ahead. But at the end of the Golden Age arc, they basically go to hell of some kind, and it's this horrifying place full of twisted faces, monsters, and so on and so forth. As well, this also shows the Falling Devil is indeed dominant to some degree, and other devils can be submissive. So this is not too surprising, as we know many devils come in a variety of shape and forms, and as well personalities. But the question I think is that on everyone's mind is that, and be sure to comment your theories, who is this figure? Obviously, we've talked a little bit about the fake Chainsaw Man theory that was seemingly disproven with recent chapters, but here at the end of the chapter, we find none other than, well, another chainsaw demon or fiend who warns Denji of the dark and the other demons. So, who is this? Is this like an alternate reality version of Chainsaw Man, like almost like a pure form? Or maybe is there a family of chainsaw men and women, and this one is one of Pochita's family members, or just species? I think just because we still don't know everything about the devils in general, and with the knowledge we know so far, I think this may just be another chainsaw devil, and maybe not exactly the fake Chainsaw Man people have been theorizing about. I could also see maybe Fujimoto reading about all of those Chainsaw Man theories and watching all of our videos about the fake Chainsaw Man theory and maybe implementing this, like a version of it, into the story. Either way, that's my theory. I'd love to hear yours, and be sure to check out my previous Chainsaw Man video right here. I will see you guys over there on that video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.